The recording. Good evening, everybody. It's once again my pleasure to welcome you to our training this evening. I want to welcome you from wherever you are joining us, whether it's here on our continent of Africa or you are further afield in the diaspora. A very warm welcome. And here in Southern Africa, spring is here, so things are looking very promising. And I hope that for each and every one of us, we are looking forward to this new month that we've just begun, having finished the month of August, which I hope went well for you. But remember, in New Life, we are always starting afresh. Every month is a new opportunity to go out there, make new goals, and reach those goals. Because every goal we reach means that we are changing someone's life for the better, whether financially, health-wise, or in other very many ways that we influence those people we come across. So a very warm welcome from me for those of you maybe who are new to our business and are joining us, because I know that in East Africa, for instance, we've had a very good month. So I know there are very many new people who are on this call. Let me introduce myself. My name is Betty Oloo, a long-time distributor of Neolife, and very happy to be in the business. It has been a wonderful, wonderful experience for us in the business. It's always our pleasure to spend these Thursday evenings with you, where we share ways in which we can position our products through knowledge. And also, Pascal takes you through a session about how to build your business and reach your business goals. So without further ado, as you might have seen from your invitation, today I was going to do a Q&A for some of the questions that we received in the course of the month of August. And the first question I got was about chronic constipation. This is a problem that is becoming fairly frequent, especially because of the types of dietary choices we make, and also because of our tendency to a sedentary lifestyle. So Neolife has products that we can recommend to help with with constipation. These ones are stage 6, which is a herbal preparation that helps to helps the digestive system to produce what is needed to make the stools easier to pass. Then we also have fiber tablets, which help to form the stools in such a way that they're easier to pass through out of the rectum. And we also have Aloe Vera Plus, our herbal drink that is a tonic for our digestive system. So in addition to those 3 products, there are some lifestyle changes that should accompany our supplements. This will include eliminating junk food from our diet, drinking plenty of fresh, clean water, increasing the amount of soluble fiber in our diet through eating certain fruits and vegetables. Examples are apples and carrots, as well as cooked leafy vegetables. This helps to increase the amount of soluble fiber in our diet, and this helps in reducing occasions of constipation. So, of course, it may be necessary to see a doctor if the constipation has become so problematic that there is fibroids, which may sometimes need surgical attention. But as I always recommend, our plan is to be preemptive before problems become so severe. So when you're still at the stage of occasional constipation or chronic constipation, it's already a high alert that you should get on the products and get on the lifestyle changes to help you to get out of that, or to educate your clients who come to you with that problem. Then the next question, the next 2 or 3 questions are to do with last week's session, which was about nutrients and our range for facial and neck skin. And the person wanted to know what we can recommend for thinning skin. This is a problem that can happen earlier in life, like the ages of around 30 and so on. But more commonly, it occurs, especially here, it was a question from a woman, so she was speaking about women, that the skin was getting thin around the menopause stage of life. So just to first mention that this can easily be linked to the hormonal changes that come about with menopause. can bring about this, but it can also be something to do with the genetics that certain skins age differently. For us, people with darker skins, we tend to have stronger skin that does not thin very much with age, but eventually it does thin. For our Caucasian sisters, then they would tend to have skin that can get quite thin as menopause comes and the years after. So what we recommend here, first of all, is Neolife Shake to provide the amino acids that the body is going to require to build tissues, of which the skin, of course, is one of the tissues. So Neolife Shake is one recommendation. We also recommend the vitamin B complex. The members of vitamin B complex, some of them are very crucial for the formation of the connective tissue inside the skin that helps the skin to be supple and elastic. And we also recommend vitamin A plus D. So those are the supplements that we can take internally. And then in addition to that, on the surface of the skin, on the skin itself, we'll recommend two things. Of course, as part of the nutrients range, if you listen to the recording from last week, I spoke more extensively about the nutrients range. But here I just wanted to mention that for thinning skin of older ladies, we'll recommend using the serum for your skin type. This will be in last week's session, the different serum, but also you can look in the information about the products. So the serum for your skin type, and also nutrients rejuvenating cream, which is a night cream that is used at night. So these two skincare items will help to support the skin from the outside. The rejuvenating cream has got a variety of ingredients that are very important in helping the skin to retain its suppleness. And then the serum also have got that. I have got another question later on about serum, so I'll come back to that. So those two products can be added from the nutrients range. So if you're already using nutrients, you can make sure that you also, usually you might not have been thinking of using rejuvenating cream, but I think in this age group, I would recommend for the ladies to use rejuvenating cream at night as the last item that is applied in the sequence of products, of nutrients products. Then another thing that we can add to that recommendation is feminine herbal complex. And this because, as I said, the thinning of the skin around menopause is linked mainly to the changes in the hormonal balance of the ladies as we go through menopause. So this is because those changes in hormones give signals to the body that might instruct our bodies to slow down the production of new skin cells and the laying down of elastin and other types of tissues that are in the connective tissue. The connective tissue is within the skin itself. So for that reason, the feminine herbal complex will help to stabilize the hormonal balance of the lady and therefore help in maybe not losing too much of the balance and then resulting in this thinning of the skin. But as I said, we use the supplements that I mentioned. We also use the nutrients range, and we can add to that the feminine herbal complex. If you are not already using it for menopause, it can be an addition. Then, of course, things like exercise will help because let's say we take some aerobic exercise like a vigorous walk for 20 minutes or more. This is going to speed up our blood circulation, and with more blood, it means that more of the nutrients will be brought to the surface of the body, of which the skin is going to be benefiting. So exercises are one of the things that helps to improve our skin condition, because also the toxins in the skin are going to be expelled as we are maybe getting a bit hot and sweating a little bit in the course of exercising. Then, of course, another important lifestyle thing that we add there is keeping well hydrated and also daily use of moisturizers. And of course, as we get older, we need to be careful to make sure that our diet has got enough proteins in it, of which we already mentioned Neolife Shake, but also dietary protein should be made adequate so that the body has all the protein that it needs to maintain any tissues that are breaking down. Okay, then another question related to last week was about hyperpigmentation, which is something I think I might have mentioned in passing. So hyperpigmentation is a condition in which the skin has got darker patches and lighter patches. This can have a number of different reasons, but I'll get into that. The supplements that we recommend there is omega-3 salmon oil, chelated zinc, and aloe vera gel to apply. So aloe vera gel is very useful for helping the skin to heal. However, some people with dry skin tend to find aloe vera gel a bit too drying. So remember that it could be used in addition to your moisturizer. But the aloe vera gel then will be performing the function of helping the skin to heal. And the reason why we are speaking about skin healing is that hyperpigmentation is usually the skin's reaction towards inflammation. So maybe you are eating something that is causing your skin to be irritated. The skin reacts by getting inflamed. And when it is inflamed, the cells that manufacture pigment become hyperactive because the body thinks that maybe you do not have enough pigment and your skin is suffering. So of course, you're going to, the pigment producing cells are going to be more active, which means they are going to produce more pigment than is actually required. And it will not be in all the places, it will be especially in the places where there is greater inflammation sensitivity. So therefore, one of the lifestyle things to think about is avoiding things that can cause inflammation, whether it is something that you're eating to which you're allergic, or using facial scrubs and harsh cleansers, because these ones also irritate the skin and cause it to be inflamed. So that is one of the things. Of course, as I mentioned last week, our nutrients range is hypoallergenic and will not drive inflammation. On top of that, another source of problems that can lead to hyperpigmentation is some of the cosmetic agents that you might find in some of the other ranges of products that you find around. They will have skin lightening ingredients. And the problem with the more common skin lightening ingredients, like, for example, hydroquinone, that is very common in many skin lighteners, is that it can lead to what is referred to as rebound hyperpigmentation. That is, you are taking you are using the product in order to lighten the darker patches. But what happens is that the darker patches get lighter, but the cells, the pigment producing cells, become less and less sensitive to the hydroquinone. And then the pigmentation starts coming back, the hyperpigmentation starts coming back. And now, of course, a person might be tempted to stop using the hydroquinone because it's not working, but that makes it even worse. And that is why I'm always speaking about this problem of using skin lighteners, because a lot of times it is going to backfire, especially for those of us who are darker skinned. It is not as problematic in lighter skinned people of the lighter skinned races. But for us people with darker skin, it almost always tends to be a rebound problem. That you are using maybe someone you've seen somewhere being advertised that is going to get rid of the hyperpigmentation, and then it backfires and the hyperpigmentation gets worse. So for that reason, that is why our recommendation is to use those supplements that help your body to fight inflammation, because the hyperpigmentation is the skin's way of saying that there is something irritating me. Can you find out what it is and get rid of it? Then in addition to that, another point I wanted to add is that you can also add flavonoids and vitamin C, because these also help very much in helping with these inflammatory conditions that might be affecting the skin. So then, of course, as I said, this is a serious problem, and the problem is that it makes the skin even more sensitive to exposure to the sun, which means that then you would need to be, if you're trying to avoid the sun, then it becomes also important to supplement with vitamin D, because vitamin D is one of the supplements and vitamins that they are required for a healthy skin. So if as a result of the pigmentation problems on the skin, a person is now sensitive to the sun and is trying to avoid the sun is one of the most important sources for us to make vitamin D, which we need in our bodies. So if for this reason or for other reasons, someone is not getting enough sun exposure, then definitely to our list of recommendations, we would add vitamin D. Then some other person wanted to know the sequence in which we use the serum and the moisturizers. So I may have forgotten to mention that when we are sequencing the nutrients of products, we start with the lightest one, the thinnest one, and end with the thickest one. So for example, the serum is very light. So what we would do is that the serum will come after we finish the toning stage. So we'll have the cleanser, we'll follow it with the toner, and then we'll go to the serum. But after applying the serum, you need to give it some time to get absorbed, because it has got active ingredients that need to get into the skin. So then after giving it a bit of time, then the moisturizer can be applied. And if it's in this case, as the question I answered previously, that there is a thinning skin, then after the serum has been applied and the moisturizer, then the rejuvenating cream can be the last item that is added at night. During the day, it would end with the moisturizer, because the rejuvenating cream tends to be fairly thick, and it's better to dry skin who might be able to use small amounts of it as the last nutrients products in their morning routine, but more usually the rejuvenating cream at night. So with that question, the sequence is the cleanser. Remember, the water is an important part of our skincare sequence, because water is the lightest of them. Also, we use good clean water for cleansing. Then following the cleanser, we are going to add the toner. Following the toner will be the serum, and then after the serum will be the moisturizer. And at night, you may add the rejuvenating cream. Okay, then those were some of the questions I picked from last week. Last week's session. But I had other question. One was from someone who had a young man of 23 suffering from sickle cell anemia and wanted to know what to recommend. As usual, the recommendation will be omega-3 salmon oil. That is very important for dealing with inflammation, as well as taking care to help with the blood health. And then we also recommend chelated zinc, which is important for wound healing and the healing of the damage that sickle cell anemia causes to the tissues within the body. We also recommend vitamin B complex, which is very important for the manufacturing of blood and its components. And then we also recommend Neolife Shake. The Neolife Shake is especially important for someone with a young man with sickle cell, because they may have a poor appetite, and because the body is always undergoing a certain amount of damage, the Neolife Shake is going to be important as a protein source, but of course they need to add plenty of protein from their diet. Unfortunately, sometimes there's a problem of poor appetite, which means the Neolife Shake might be the main source of proteins for someone suffering from sickle cell, especially after they've just had a crisis. The Neolife Shake is very important for helping them to bounce back into better health. A few lifestyle things that we add for the sickle cell, we would mention they need to keep well hydrated always. Hydration is very important, because if they get dehydrated, there's a chance of having a sickle cell crisis or other health issues. So hydration, very important. And then the other one is it's important to work with the doctor to have a good pain management regime, because this is an illness which has got periods of extreme pain. So work with your doctor to discuss the best way to go about dealing with the pain, what to do when the pain becomes very severe, and what can be taken at home if the pain is not too severe. And then, of course, lastly there, to help to eliminate or resolve stressors in the life of a sickle cell patient, because the stressors can also lead to a sickle cell crisis, which can then become a vicious cycle where they get stressed and they get into a crisis, which makes them also worried and sick, and they get even more stressed by being sick. So just to try to eliminate or resolve stressors and get a good support system, as good a support system as can be found, so that the person has got plenty of support to have a good quality of life. Okay, then the other question I had was for a person who wanted to know about type 2 diabetes, what to recommend. And this the herbal preparation that is Botanical Balance, a very, very, very good supplement for dealing with the sugar metabolism in pre-diabetes and diabetes type 2. So that is our first recommendation. Should be taken at the beginning of a meal. And then the other recommendation is Treanen, which is going to help the cells to be more sensitive to insulin and help to normalize the blood sugar levels. And then we also recommend fiber tablets, because fiber helps to carry excess sugar out of the system and also slows down the rate at which sugar enters our circulation. So the fiber tablets should be supplements that also are supplementing dietary fiber that we are taking. So on the lifestyle side for diabetes type 2 and pre-diabetes, we recommend eliminating all sugar, processed grain, and junk food. This should be completely out of the picture. Then we opt for minimally processed foods and non-sweet fruits, as well as plenty of leafy vegetables. This is okay. But some of the fruits have now been hybridized to be very sweet, so they are not recommended for people with either pre-diabetes or diabetes to eat freely. So better to opt for good non-sweet fruits. I'll give the example of avocados, for instance, which have very little sugar and have got healthy fats in them. So this would be a good choice for someone who is struggling with either type 2 diabetes or pre-diabetes. We also recommend walking for at least 20 minutes every day, because a certain amount of exercise helps to manage the blood sugar. So try to find time to go for a walk or a jog if you can, or join a gym if it's within your ability, but including exercise in the regimen of the life of someone with type 2 diabetes is quite beneficial. So those are some lifestyle pointers there. Then the next question was a favorite of some time back, but it seems to be reappearing again. And that was someone who wanted to know if Neolife has a collagen supplement. And just to say that collagen is a supplement that keeps on getting crazes going on about it in the internet. So I think that craze is reappearing again. But just to say that Neolife Shake has all the amino acids that our bodies require in order to build any tissue that is needed, of which collagen is one of them. But we have to remember that human collagen is made in the human body. And since when we are eating food, we are not eating human meat, it means that collagen is from a different animal, which means we have to break it down. Either it is partially broken down in the supplement itself, or we are going to break it down in our own system, and then from it get building blocks with which to build our own collagen. But remember, the body works under its own instructions. So, for example, one of the things that is usually touted is that if you take collagen, it's going to improve your hair, it's going to improve give you a youthful skin and beautiful nails and so on. But this might not be the priority of your body. Your body may be thinking of building other different tissues that are more urgent for your survival. So when you take a supplement, whether it is Neolife Shake or a collagen supplement, the final say is what the body's instructions are for itself, and where that the amino acids are going to end up will depend on the parts the body considers to be important and urgent. Therefore, what we would say is that for someone who's looking for a collagen supplement, what we recommend is Neolife Shake, which contains the full range of amino acids, which the body is then going to use as is needed. If the body needs to make new skin, beautiful long hair or long nails, then it is going to do so. On the other hand, if it needs to build new brain cells and new muscular tissue and repair some ulcers you may have in your gut, that is where your amino acids are going to go. So this is not really within the power of the person to decide where the collagen or the amino acids are going to go. The body is going to decide that. In addition to that, apart from Neolife Shake, we also recommend vitamin C and chelated zinc, because these are essential for the process of making collagen within the body. So I know that a lot of the time the collagen is in order to help with problems to do with joints or problems to do with the skin or problems to do with hair. So here what we recommend is Neolife Shake, vitamin C and chelated zinc, and then we leave it up to the body to decide how it is going to use these supplements, because our aim here is to give the body what it needs in order to do what is needed. But as to whether the hair is going to grow long and beautiful or whether the nails are going to be long and beautiful, that is the body that is going to do that work. It's not that you have taken whether it is Neolife Shake or whatever collagen that is out there being currently touted as the best thing. Finally, the body is the decider of what is going to go, and that will depend on the priorities of your health as decided by your body and the hormones that are the messengers inside the body. So maybe I need not go further into that point. So for people searching for collagen supplements, that will recommend Neolife Shake, will recommend vitamin C and chelated zinc. All these are components of the collagen making process inside our bodies. Then another question was to do with the liver problems. So the liver, as you know, is a very important detox organ within our abdomen. And what we recommend for it to help it to function well is Betagard, chelated zinc, and Neolife Shake. In addition to that, what we would also recommend is to do a Neolife detox. If maybe there has been certain things that are linked to the liver problems. But one of the now important factors that lead to liver problems is taking too much sugar in the diet. Previously, for example, when I was young, the problems to do with the liver were always only found in alcoholics, people who use too much alcohol. But these days, it is becoming more and more common in people who have got diabetes and people who have a diet that is high in refined sugar. So to support the liver, we need to increase the use of healthy foods, as well as to eliminate sugar and alcohol from our diets. And if the problem has been ongoing for a while, then maybe a Neolife detox would be a useful place to start in improving the lifestyle choices. Then I had another question about swelling legs and feet. So here, I think this is another time we're getting this question, which seems to be another common problem. And the first thing to recommend here is to consult a doctor in order to determine whether there's a serious underlying cause that is causing the swelling in the legs and the feet. It could be something linked to either the heart or the kidney. So please consult your doctor to find out if there's an underlying cause. And also other things in the lifestyle that can be looked at is whether we are moving enough and we are not sitting for prolonged periods, because that could be contributing to the problem. Then if we are, for one reason or another, we are forced to sit for long periods, maybe because it's our job or because we are traveling, let's say, long distances for our work, then we can use compression stockings. These are these tight socks that you put on that help to prevent fluid from collecting in the legs. And when one is sitting, to try and elevate the legs, keep the legs above the level of the heart. So if you're lying down on the sofa or on the bed, you put a pillow under your legs so that your feet are above the rest of your body. And that way the fluids are going to drain. On the supplement side, what we'll recommend is magnesium complex, multimineral, and omega-3 salmon oil. Then, of course, if you consider, just in this question, to take a moment still, if the doctor finds that there is a problem to do with the heart or the kidney, then we would take supplements that support those two organs. Okay, then the other question was about poor appetite in a young girl. And here we'll recommend the Neolife Shake, we'll recommend Pro Vitality, and vitamin B complex. Vitamin B complex will help in improving the diet and energy production. NutriShake will, of course, be very important for a growing child to help. Neolife Shake, will be important for a growing child to give them a good supply of amino acids for building up new tissue. And Pro Vitality, of course, is our general optimum supplementation product. Then on the lifestyle side, the poor appetite could be for a variety of reasons, and maybe there may be an underlying reason. It could be illness, that the child is suffering from an illness that has not been diagnosed. It could be as a result of stress, or it could be a result of anxiety or other things. So to try to get to the bottom of why the appetite is poor. Then something that sometimes we do not think about is some of the young girls can be getting bullied and teased about being overweight, and it could be that they are trying to lose weight by not eating or by forcing themselves to vomit and hide the fact from the parents. So there could be a case of anorexia or bulimia. So maybe as a parent, if this is happening, this poor appetite or a child not wanting to sit down to eat at meal times, then maybe to try to get to the bottom of it and to be aware that sometimes it can be an eating disorder that is starting to develop as a result of things that are happening in the child's life. Then, of course, apart from such ominous things, we can also recommend that if there is no underlying issue, what we can recommend is to encourage them to exercise or take up some sports, because this will use up the energy and improve their appetite. In addition to that, we should choose nutritious food whenever possible, so that the child gets the little that they eat is actually nutritious, because of course there are people who just have got a poor appetite. It's the way they are. They eat less than others. So in that case, it becomes even more crucial that the foods that they eat are nutritious, so that they benefit from the little that they are eating. And of course, the supplements will also assist in bridging the gap. Another question was a cough due to allergy. And this is actually interesting because in Southern Africa now we are starting the allergy season, when there's a lot of dust and pollen in the air. So here we would recommend herbal respiratory complex. We would also recommend flavonoid complex, omega-3 salmon oil, and we can also include vitamin C. So these supplements are going to help to deal with the allergies. I always recommend to start with, if it's a person who knows they tend to have allergic reactions in the spring months, then it's good to start with this towards the end of winter, towards the end of August, as the warm weather comes up and flowers start blooming and pollen count increases, then start using the supplements to help with that. On the lifestyle side, it's useful to try and identify and avoid the triggers that are triggering the allergies. Of course, it's not always possible to avoid them, but where possible, do so. And then also avoid refined carbohydrates and sugars and so on. They tend to make the allergies worse. And in addition to that, increase traditional foods in the diet, because this can help in improving the gut and its ability to deal with some of the allergies and inflammations that can be coming from the diet itself. I think we'll go to one last question. And this is a question about how to support a child who has cancer. And this is a 10-year-old child. So very tragic. We would recommend phytodefense if they are able to swallow the capsules and the tablets. If they are not able to do so for whatever reason, we would then use VitaGuard, which they can suck. And then we also recommend omega-3 salmon oil. If they are not able to swallow the smaller capsule, we can recommend this. The bigger capsule, we can recommend the smaller one and take a double dose of it. And then the third thing we can recommend is Neolife Shake, which will help them, especially if they're going to be undergoing chemotherapy. The Neolife Shake is going to be a useful source of nutrition for them. So I think I shall leave off at that point. Thank you very much for all these questions. As always, it's my pleasure to look at your questions, because they always take me in places where maybe I would not think of going myself. So it improves my knowledge of the products, and it also is very encouraging for me to know that you are out there helping people to solve different issues that they are coming across, and helping your own selves, maybe your family members, to assist them in dealing with the health issues that our products can assist with. So I'm always grateful that you send the questions, and I hope that the product sessions are helping you to position your products better and better, so as to reach out to the many people who we know are out there looking for our products, because many of the issues that we deal with are ones where the medical practitioners are not really able to help, but by giving our supplements, we are actually able to help the people to heal themselves. The testimonials and happy stories that we have of our products are very many, as I'm sure most of us know. And so with that, I want to wish you all the best in this month that we have begun of September. I hope that your efforts are fruitful. And of course, as always, when our efforts are fruitful, it means that we are not only improving our own lives, but also of others, because that is how we succeed in our business. So thank you very much. Pascal is standing by right here to take you through the business session. And I want to wish you all a good evening further.
Thank you very much, Betty. I think the questions give a lot of food for thought. Somebody just sent me a question. I think Kodongo, I've already forwarded to Betty. I think she will deal with the question in the next session when there is Q&A. This session I want to discuss with you are two things I want to discuss with you about the business side. One is dealing with the objections. If there is anybody on this training session who has not received an objection, then you're not in the business yet, or you haven't started actually talking to people, because all of us, we get all sorts of objections. The other thing I want to suggest or discuss with you is how to sharpen the saw. What does that mean? It's just to make yourself a better person, a better business leader, so that your business grows. In fact, something about our business that I know to be true, that you're always paid according to who you are, not what you want. So let me go through some of the objections that people give you or show us, people ask or give us when we show them about the business. But before we go to the objections, these are some of the things that when you start the business, you are going to encounter. It doesn't matter how long you've been in the business. If you're in the business, you'll at least encounter either 6, 7, or 8 different issues listed in this route. The first one, the first challenge that people get when they get into the business is comparison with other companies. That is very common. A lot of people say we're just like Neolife better. Why do they compare us with other companies? Because Neolife is a good company. All right. I never talk about other companies when it comes to our business. I talk about Neolife because Betty and I have been doing Neolife for 27 years. We know we've got the best products in the world, and we're going to do Neolife from now and into the future. Okay. Then the other challenge is multiple income streams. What does that mean? Some people think that you can actually do Neolife and other companies with the same marketing system. It never works. Why? Because a divided mind is never stable. If you're approaching people, what are you going to recommend to them? So if you're in the business, keep your mind and your heart to Neolife. That is what will actually create success for you. Number 3, multitasking. Multitasking is doing too many things. It may appear as if multitasking sounds good because you're trying to do too many things, but multitasking, it doesn't work. What I know works is sequential tasking, which simply means you start one thing, you concentrate on it, finish it, and then go to the next. All right? So if you want to do Neolife, put aside 1 or 2 hours a day to do your Neolife business. And what is that activity? Talking to people. Number 4, the banker syndrome. What does that mean? It's very tempting when some people in your team are struggling really financially and you give them money. It's called the banker syndrome. I find that when there is exchange of money between one distributor and another, relationships become strained and it affects the business. If one person lends money to another, then when they haven't paid back, when it is time to pay back, they start avoiding your calls, and it creates unnecessary stress. My opinion, my thinking is this: we sponsor people in this business to teach them how to make money, not to give money. Number 5 is called the product expert syndrome. Sometimes it's very easy to be tempted that for you to succeed in our business, you need to know the chemistry and the biology of all our products. That is not necessary. Okay? You need some basic information about our products. I mean, we've got people from so many different backgrounds who join our business. They don't have to know the details about our products. Dr. Ariana Karugi, yes, she's an expert. We depend on the scientific advisory board to tell us about the science behind the products, but we are distributors. We need to know the basic information about the products and then talk to people about our products. The other thing, number 6, is friends and family. This is very common. It's called a prophet in his home syndrome. Your family and friends, the people you know, a number of them have never seen you succeed. They already have attitudes about you. When you show them the business, maybe they will not say yes. I mean, you approach some people, and before you open their mouth, they tell you, I don't want to hear. And you tell them, look, I haven't even told you what I want to discuss with you, and you're saying that you don't want to hear. That is likely to happen. So a prophet in his home syndrome is something very common in our business. If it happens, take it in your stride. It doesn't matter, okay? Number 7, work with the willing. Work with only the people who are willing to do the business. Why? Because if you spend time with the people who are not willing, they will drag you down with their emotional energy, negative emotional energy. So work with the willing. Number 8 is too much information to prospects. You need to be careful not to give your prospects too much information that it bogs them down, they're unable to make a decision. Okay? Too much information to a prospect is not good. Number 9, shortcuts. If I remember one of my leaders earlier on in the business, Johannes van Eden, used to tell us that if there was a shortcut in life, everybody would take it. This business, there is no shortcut. The only thing we have to do is talk to people, and talk to a lot of people. Some will say yes, some will say no. Get involved with the ones who say yes, and teach them to do what you do. All right, let's get on to the basic objections that we get in our business. You will always get a variety or one variety or so about our business. In general, the objections about this business are divided specifically into 2. The first is when people don't believe in the concept of network marketing. That's the first category. The next category, people don't believe in themselves that they can become successful in the business. Those are the 2 major objections that people have. And they are divided in different, they express themselves in different ways. The first objection that people have is, I don't have money to start. Okay? That is an objection you always get. This is my thinking. I mean, Betty and I started this business with no money. What we did is, we wrote a check and we asked our bank manager to honor the check. It was 425 Rand. So when people don't say they don't have money, either they have not understood the power of the business, or they don't understand, they don't see their dreams becoming true in this business. Okay? When people say they don't have money. I mean, the question, in fact, I asked them this question. If they've been working for 5 or 10 years, and they don't have $300 or $400 in cash somewhere, then they're in trouble. Okay? So when people say they don't have money, it's because they don't see the value of the business, or they don't see themselves succeeding in the business. Okay? You can flip it around and ask them, if you knew without a doubt that in 12 months' time, you'd be earning an extra $600 or $700 a month, would you look for the money? Most people would say, yes, I'll be able to get it tomorrow. But because there is no sense of urgency, they don't think that it's worth looking for that money, okay? There are hundreds of examples of people who borrowed money to start and became very successful. One that comes to mind is Moses and Juliet Klinogo of Ghana. Moses is a mechanical engineer. When he saw the concept, he sold his TV and trousers to get the money to get started in the business. Within 2 years, he was a diamond director. Okay? So when people are really serious about their future, they will get the money. The second objection, I don't have time, too busy. Very typical objection. Think about this. People who say they don't have time, it's as if time is in a closet. You just need to go and open the door and it comes out. No. All of us have 24 hours a day. Nothing more, nothing less. I don't have 24.5 hours or 23.5 hours. All of us have 24 hours. So we only get involved in activities that we find have got value to us. So when people say they don't have time, it means they don't think the business is worth their while. So when people say they're too busy, they don't have time, it's because they don't see the value in the business. All right? And one of the ways to deal with this is to ask, so is time the only issue or a problem for you in the business? In fact, when you ask such a question, the person begins to think, then they begin to realize, okay, they want to ask all the other reasons what is stopping me from joining the business. Eventually, they will find that actually the reason they're saying they can't join the business is actually not the real reason. There's something else. So they don't have time. Everybody has 24 hours. Just depends on what they take to be important to them. Number 3, products are too expensive. I've had that since Betty and I started the business. In fact, when Betty and I started the business, we saw Nutri-Shake at that time was 79 Rand, which is about, in Kenya shillings, that was about 500 shillings at that time. That was, I mean, if you think about what Nutri-Shake now costs, you would die if you think about the price. When people say the products are expensive, I think what they mean is they think that the value of the product is so low that the price at which we sell our products is not commensurate with the value. Okay? The other thing they need to think about is, for example, somebody who is having diabetes says the botanical balance is too expensive. Ask them, what is the cost of living with diabetes? Or somebody who has high blood pressure or heart problem, what is the cost of having a heart problem or high blood pressure? I think our products are very reasonably priced if you compare to our products in the market, and also because of the quality of our products. So when people say the products are too expensive, it's because they don't see value to it. I mean, I think I have not heard anybody saying that Mercedes-Benz is expensive. Why? Because they know the quality of Mercedes. Number 4, a number of people say it's a pyramid scheme. This is a very common objection. And I think it's important to alert your prospects or people who say that our business is a pyramid scheme. The most stable geometric structure is a pyramid. All right? That's one. Number 2, any government structure is a pyramid. For example, in Kenya, South Africa, Uganda, Nigeria, there's one president, there's a vice president, there is ministers, there is deputy ministers, then there are heads of department. The lower you go, the bigger the base. That is called a pyramid structure. In our business, some people, I mean, Betty and I have the people in our team who earn more than we do. Your success in the business just depends on how hard you work. There's a difference between a network marketing business and a pyramid scheme. 3 items. Number 1, a pyramid scheme doesn't have a product or a service that is offered to the public. We do have a product that we offer. Number 2 is that the people who start a pyramid scheme always win. Why? Because they always get money from others and then ask others to bring more money so that they can pay others. A pyramid scheme always collapses within 6 to 8 to 12 months. Okay? Number 3, our business is regulated by the Direct Selling Association. A pyramid scheme, there is no body that regulates that scheme. It's very easy to know what a pyramid scheme is and what is a network marketing business. A network marketing business has a legitimate product or a service that is offered to the public. Number 2, they have got at least an office where you can actually go and check what they do. Number 3 is that there is a regulatory body that controls this thing. So when people say it's a pyramid scheme, ask them, well, what do you mean? First, what do you mean by pyramid scheme? Number 2 is that a pyramid scheme, there's no product or service offered. It's a very simple distinction. The 5th objection, I want to think about it. When people say I want to think about it, what they actually mean is that they don't want to make a decision. Okay? Of course, when somebody says I want to think about it, the question you need to ask them, okay, can I help you in the thinking process? Because I've got more information about our business, maybe I can help resolve some of the challenges you have. When people say they want to think about it, most of the time they're afraid to make a decision. Okay? So when somebody says, I want to think about it, ask them, okay, is there anything that you'd like me to have, information you'd like me to help you with to think about? Number 6, I am not the selling type. This business is not a selling business. This business is an education and distribution business. That is really what we do. Okay? And you will find that the most successful people are not very good at selling, but what they are very good at is teaching others to do what they do, educating customers and educating people who become business builders. In any case, only 3% of the world's population likes selling. Most people don't like selling. So if your goal is to go after the sales type, you're not likely to succeed, because it means you're cutting yourself off from the 97% population of the world. So in handling objections, objections are really lack of information. That's one. Number two, hear them out without interrupting. Really listen to what they are saying by asking questions. Then repeat to them to ensure you understand what they're actually objecting to. Okay? If you don't have an answer, say so. Say, I'm going to find information from you. But it's very important to repeat to them to ensure you understand what their objection is. And then use what is called the feel, felt, found rule. By saying, Peter, I know how you feel. When I started the business, I felt the same. But what I found out is that all these objections are actually incorrect. For example, let me say that I am an engineer, and somebody tells me, you know, Pascal, I'm not a salesperson. I can't do this business. So what I would say is, I know how you feel because I felt that way when I got started. I'm an engineer. I thought that if I'm an engineer, I won't be able to build this kind of business. But I found out that with training, you can learn how to explain this idea very clearly to people. That is why it's called the feel, felt, found rule. What it does is that you emotionally connect to your prospects in what their objection is. And then use the 4 closing questions to close your prospects. 1, after they've seen the business, did the business idea make sense to you? If they say yes, go to the next question. What did you like most about the business? That question is designed that way because you are interested in what they liked about the business, not what they disliked or the negative thoughts they have about the business. So ask them, what did you like most about the business? Number 3, do you see yourself becoming successful in the business? If they say yes to all those things, then number 4, ask them, this is the application form. When would you like to pay and get started in the business? Those are the 4 closing questions which you need to practice until you make it natural. You ask the questions naturally. It takes time, but it's very quick. You can learn it very quickly. So those are the things, those are some of the objections you're going to get and the way to handle those objections. Objections are simply lack of information or lack of belief in the prospect about the business or about themselves becoming successful. 2, hear them out without interrupting. Number 3, repeat to them to ensure you understand what they're saying. Then use a feel, felt, found rule. And number 4, use the 4 closing questions. Let's talk about sharpening the saw. Sharpening the saw simply means you take time to develop yourself as a person. Why is this important? Because you attract to yourself by the person you have become. If you want strong business builders in your business, you have to become the person you want to attract. Why? Because the person you want to attract will relate to who you are. That is why it's very important. You need to have a daily schedule of activities you do every day, whether you feel like doing them or not. How you feel is not important. The important thing is to maintain the discipline of doing those few things every single day. That is what we mean by sharpening the saw. Sharpening the saw simply means sharpening your skills, your attitude, and your knowledge. Number 1, self-talk and visualization. You need to do this. The reason you do this is to reprogram your subconscious mind. Of all the thoughts that go on in your mind, out of 10, 9 are negative thoughts. The average person, out of 10, 9 of the 10 thoughts are negative, only 1 is positive. So to have a positive attitude, you need self-talk to counteract the negativity that you get, that you normally have in your mind, and 2, that you get from the outside. That helps you to reduce the negativity in your life. Self-talk and visualization simply means you close your eyes and you create a mental or mental video of what you want your life to look like. Invite prospects to see the business. This has to be done on a daily basis. Show the business to 2 people daily. Then follow up with the ones who have seen the business. Talk to 2 customers daily. And then number 6, read good books every day for at least 15 minutes. Why is this important? Because then you're feeding your mind with positive information to counteract the negativity that you have around you. Okay? Then add new names to your list. Maintain a simple exercise program daily, either walking or lifting weights or using your body as weight to do exercises. You don't need to go to the gym. You have enough things in your home to actually exercise very, very well and become fit. Do planks, do squats, do sit-ups, do press-ups, all those things you can do to make yourself fit. Have enough sleep. It's very, very important that you have. So I think Betty has covered this very, very well previously about the need for having good rest and sleep. Then check what you eat. Okay, if you do these simple things every day without even realizing, you will find that you have better life, you have better way of managing stress. You've got a positive attitude because you input positive things in your life. If you do those simple things, you will find that your life actually begins to improve. And as your life improves, you will find that your business begins to improve. The better you are as a person, the better your results are going to be. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank all of you very much for spending this evening with Betty and myself. This is the beginning of September. Set your goals in 3 areas. 1, personal PV. Number 2, the number of people you want to sponsor. And number 3, the step you want to make for the month of September. If you do those simple things, your business will grow. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Alan, we really appreciate you hosting our meeting today and wish everybody the best for the month. Thank you and good night.